Hey everyone, welcome back to the B-Movie Bunker. Today we're looking at Universal Soldier, Day of Reckoning. Brought to us by John Hyams, the same guy who brought us Universal Soldier, Regeneration. Alright, what we have with this one is we have John, played by Scott Adkins. John, his wife and young daughter are murdered by Jean-Claude Van Damme, reprising his role from the previous Universal Soldier movies, along with his cohorts, one of them being Dolph Lundgren as well. However, nothing is as it seems, and John starts to uncover plot upon plot upon plot upon cover-up upon plot upon cover-up. Alright. I wanted to like this movie. There's some bits I did like, but first of all, I don't think the movie really knows what it's trying to do. It's kind of like trying to do this kind of like Bourne Identity thing, but also trying to be a Universal Soldier movie, like an action movie with, you know, it didn't quite make sense at times. It just, the story, it's like they just kind of like had too many different ideas and they couldn't decide on one, so they just did all of them at once. The action, there are some cool fight scenes. It reaches a point though where even for being, you know, these, you know, super hybrid, you know, mega powerful soldiers, it gets kind of ridiculous. Some of the fight scenes where it's like, I'm going to take a piece of a dumbbell, you know, a big old 45-pound metal weight, I'm going to beat you with it about 50 times, and then I'm going to hit you with a bat for a while, and you're going to be fine. But then, like, you know, I'm going to shoot you in the shoulder and you're going to die. So, how easy some of them died, it didn't make sense with the rest of how the story was progressing. But definitely, they were definitely trying to go for that Bourne Identity type vibe, where it's like, here's a guy who thinks one thing, but is he really that person? You know, it's maybe even a little Total Recall. It's like they saw Total Recall and Bourne Identity on AMC and said, I want to make both those movies at once. But I have the rights to Universal Soldier, so we're going to do it with that skin. Van Damme, actually, in his limited role, is actually quite good, and the final fight with him is actually pretty good. Lundgren actually gets probably the only good lines in the entire show. Scott Adkins, not at least not in this role, just not a good actor. He's great in the action scenes, but his acting ability, acting in general in this, you know, I mean, Lundgren's probably the strongest actor in it, and that's Dolph Lundgren is your best actor. Think about that. But yeah, it wasn't quite up to snuff, and there were so many editing gaffes. I mean, the tire's blown out. Now the tire's not blown out. The windshield shut out. Now it's not shut out. There's just these things that keep happening where it's like, that guy's already dead. Why is he still? A lot of those. And another pet peeve of mine, this happens in a lot of action movies, the carjacking. I never realized carjacking was quite so simple as standing out in front of the street, doing this, the car will stop, they will then let you walk up to their car, and apparently no one in the movie world, has locks on their doors, because then I would just open the car door, the person will go, hey, I'll grab them, pull them out because they also don't wear seat belts, and just toss them to the side, get in the car, and drive away. Really, really, really. I hate that so much. You know, people can lock their doors, they can drive away, people wear seat belts, all that kind of stuff. And it's not just so simply easy to just take someone who's sitting in a car and just go, blah. I don't care if you're a super soldier or not. They're crammed into that seat of the car. Show me a little effort in the carjacking thing. I like the carjacking scene in Reservoir Dogs because that doesn't go as smooth as it does in every other film ever made. Scale of 1 to 10, before I dwell on this too much. This reminds me kind of like the last Duke Nukem game. Came out way too late. This should have been done a long time ago. Waiting as long as they did to get this done. I mean, I'm sure there may have been reasons, but it just, the time has passed for it. And it doesn't live up to the predecessor. It just doesn't. And part of it is because, in my head, you know, I mean, Universal Soldier, not a great movie. It really wasn't. But it was a fun movie. And I remember it fondly because it's from that bygone era when there were, you know, 500 different action stars cranking out like 35 different action movies a week. This one doesn't live up to it. It falls short. So that's all I have for this one. Until next time, stay safe out there in the wasteland.